The Possessed Antiques. In the quaint town of Willowbrook, an eccentric collector named Mr. Whitman was renowned for his vast collection of antiques from all corners of the world. His mansion, known as the Whitman Manor, was filled with rare artifacts, each with its unique history and allure. However, what most people didn't know was that some of these antiques carried dark secrets. Among Mr. Whitman's recent acquisitions were 3 mysterious items: a cursed music box, an ominous-looking mirror, and a weathered book of forbidden spells. These antiques were rumored to be possessed by malevolent spirits, but Mr. Whitman dismissed such claims as mere superstition. One evening, Mr. Whitman hosted a grand dinner party at the manor, inviting some of the town's most prominent figures. As the night wore on, a sense of unease settled over the guests. Whispers of strange occurrences and eerie shadows began to circulate among them. A curious guest named Amelia, an avid paranormal enthusiast, couldn't resist the temptation to investigate further. Sneaking away from the festivities, she ventured into the mansion's dimly lit corridors, guided by the faint sound of haunting melodies. Amelia followed the haunting music until she reached a locked room. The sounds seemed to emanate from within, and curiosity got the better of her. Finding the key on a nearby table, she hesitantly unlocked the door and entered. Inside, she discovered the cursed music box, its lid slowly opening and closing to the ethereal tune. As she watched, a pale figure appeared, seemingly trapped inside the music box. Fear overcame curiosity, and Amelia tried to shut the lid. But it resisted, as if an unseen force wanted to keep it open. Frantic, Amelia fled the room and bumped into Mr. Whitman, who noticed her distress, and insisted she was merely experiencing the ambiance of his curious collection. Yet, his reassurances couldn't shake the growing sense of dread that gripped the party. As the night progressed, more strange phenomena manifested. Guests claimed to see their reflections warped in the antique mirror, revealing grotesque versions of themselves. Some reported hearing strange whispers emanating from the Book of Forbidden Spells. The mansion seemed to come alive with sinister energy, and the guests' unease turned into outright terror. One by one, they fled, leaving Mr. Whitman alone with his cursed antiques. Unable to ignore the ominous events any longer, Mr. Whitman sought help from an enigmatic occultist known as Madame Serafina. As the clock struck midnight, Madame Serafina arrived at Whitman Manor. With an air of authority and knowledge of the occult, she wasted no time in performing a ritual to cleanse the cursed antiques of their malevolent spirits. Each antique resisted, releasing spectral energy that filled the room with a haunting aura. The spirits seemed unwilling to leave their newfound vessels. However, Madame Serafina's expertise prevailed, and one by one, the spirits were banished from the antiques, returning to the realms from which they had emerged. The cursed music box fell silent, the mirror's surface cleared, and the forbidden book closed with a soft thud. With the malevolence dispelled, Whitman Manor returned to its calm and elegant state. Grateful for Madame Serafina's intervention, Mr. Whitman pledged never to underestimate the power of the supernatural again. From that night on, the legend of Whitman Manor grew, but it also served as a reminder that some things in the world should never be taken lightly. Especially when the line between the living and the spiritual is blurred, and the past can still wield its dark influence.